No matter how the cachet of the WNBA elevates, remember, it could have been even better. You messed it up. You messed it up.
It's possible that Caitlin Clark received an offer from Europe that would permanently alter the WNBA.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
The WNBA is rushing as Caitlin Clark's move to Europe looks more imminent. Perhaps you should have considered treating your big star with a little more decency now. Caitlin will badly damage the WNBA, and who would watch without CC?
I know she will do her best. I know she's talented, but she's not strong enough and she doesn't have enough experience right now to compete at this.
These are the individuals. You lack experience and won't manage the WNBA, Caitlin had to deal with throughout the season. And look what happened. She blasted her way past broken records like there was no tomorrow, leaving the WNBA in disarray.
Nonsense about things that Caitlin was doing wrong when, in my personal opinion, she was doing nothing but going out there and playing great basketball every night and ignoring the hate that was coming to her from all sides, not only from fans.
These analysts gave Caitlin no other option. The ongoing hostility towards her is enough. She needs a new beginning in a league that genuinely values its best players and prevents them from being singled out.
Look at what the NBA became. Even when Jordan was ascending and the league clearly saw that that was the dude and Nike was marketing the living hell out of Michael Jordan. I want to be like Mike. It was still Bird and Magic.
According to reports, Caitlin Clark has received an incredible contract offer to perform in Europe, and while it appears that she is prepared to accept, there is more to the tale. Despite all the attention, admiration, and unquestionable impact she has had on the game, Caitlin Clark has faced many challenges in the WNBA, from the league's inability to adequately protect its star players to the lack of proper support on the court. These challenges have culminated in what could be one of the most shocking career decisions we've ever seen. Caitlin has finally had enough of the way she's been treated in the WNBA, and after enduring innumerable frustrations, she is finally making the decision to leave the league. The ripple effects of her departure could send shock waves through the WNBA, shaking it to its very core. Caitlin Clark's decision to move to Europe and leave the WNBA, let's face it, the WNBA hasn't always treated Caitlin Clark with the decency or consideration that a player of her caliber deserves. Whether it's the lack of protection on the court, the persistent harassment from other players, or the league's apparent lack of interest, it's obvious that Clark has had enough. Time and time again, we've witnessed opposing players get away with using excessive physicality when guarding Clark, frequently going overboard with aggressive and occasionally dangerous play. It's almost as though the league has permitted these tactics to continue unchecked.
You weren't making a basketball argument. You weren't making a basketball argument.
We're not saying we were making a basketball
No, Andrea, I'm not going to let you do that.
Go ahead,
Andrea, I'm not going to let you make it seem like Caitlin Clark was averaging 5 points a game. At the time, she was still averaging 16 points a game, which was more than a lot of other guards that made the team. So don't do that. Don't make it seem like she was averaging 5 points and this was like a handout.
No, it wasn't a handout.
Look at her numbers. Look at her numbers comparable to the other guards that were on the team. That's all I'm saying.
You could even argue that the WNBA has allowed this behavior to continue because they are aware that Clark's presence on the court attracts attention and increases viewership. After all, a little drama gets people talking, but for Caitlin, the lack of protection has gone too far. Fans have taken notice of the outcry on social media platforms from her supporters, who have been demanding more protection, fairness, and respect for their favorite player, but little to nothing has changed. Clark feels abandoned, almost as if the league didn't care enough to make the necessary changes.
People are watching women's basketball right now. It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
And Caitlin Clark is finally listening to her fans after suffering season after season of unjust treatment and targeting. She has had enough of the league's lack of concern and has made the decision to take charge of her career by quitting the WNBA. Clark is seeking a new chapter in which her tremendous talent, passion, and influence on the game will be properly recognized as they have long been. Let's now discuss the consequences. There's no need to sugarcoat the fact that the WNBA is about to see a significant decline, and it's all because they overlooked how important Caitlin Clark was to the league's success. Without Clark, the WNBA would immediately suffer in terms of both audience and money. Whether they were casual watchers or die-hard basketball fanatics, everyone watched Caitlin Clark whenever she on the court because she was a huge draw for the league. Caitlin Clark.
The fact that she was getting all of that, yet all of these eyeballs were coming to the league because of her. The Indiana Fever was turning away games into home games.
The WNBA now faces the monumental task of filling the void left by her departure. Sure, there are other talented players in the league, such as DJ Carrington and Angel Ree, but let's face it, they don't have the same strength or charisma that Clark brought to the game. This isn't to diminish their talent. Both are incredible athletes, but Caitlin Clark was operating on a whole new level. She wasn't just a player, she was a movement, and people weren't just drawn to the WNBA. They were drawn to her because of her fearless shooting ability to take over games and her competitive spirit, making her a must-watch athlete. The extent of the Caitlin Clark effect is only now becoming apparent to the WNBA. Losing Clark would result in millions of dollars in revenue from ticket sales, merchandise, TV partnerships, and sponsorships. It will all take a huge toll, and worse, it was all avoidable. The league had every opportunity to give Caitlin the respect she earned as the league's face, to shield her on the court, and to provide her with the assistance she needed, but they failed.
Draft day viewership, which is up 400% to 40%. Between ticket sales, which is up 93% to 16%. Between regular game viewership, which is up 180% to 20%. What Caitlin Clark has done is grown the WNBA exponentially. She did in 5 weeks what would have taken 5 years. And as it pertains to draft viewership, she did in 5 days.
They allowed problems to worsen, and now they will have to pay for it. The WNBA is soon to learn how much they lost. Therefore, Caitlin's departure marks a turning point that might have disastrous effects on the league's future. What specifically has Caitlin Clark been promised in Europe? Anyone would be stopped in their tracks by the astonishing numbers being flung around. The contract she has been promised, according to several sources, is significantly more than anything the WNBA has ever offered in the EuroLeague, where players are regarded like royalty. Caitlin is receiving a once-in-a-lifetime chance. The decision to transfer abroad virtually made itself. There might be a team there. In addition to earning much more money, she will also benefit from playing fewer games, giving her more time to relax, heal, and play at her best.
Could be a team overseas who would love to snatch Caitlin Clark away from us and give her a crazy offer. I mean, Ice Cube was about to give her $5 million to play in less than 10 games in the Big.
In addition to offering Caitlin a contract, Europe is also giving her the opportunity to represent the entire league. Imagine Caitlin entering the court, the lights going down, and thousands of fans cheering loudly. The energy in those crowded arenas is tangible, with every roar from the crowd echoing through the stadium as she steps up to take a deep three. However, this time, things are different. The fans aren't there merely to watch a basketball game, they're there for her. The EuroLeague is aware of this and is ready to make her the face of their brand, treating her like the international superstar she is.
How's it feel? Do you care?
It's not only about Europe giving Caitlin a new platform to rule, it's also about making her the world's largest basketball star, with arenas brimming with ardent supporters who applaud and admire every move she makes. Europe is prepared to ensure that Caitlin Clark shines brighter than ever before as she prepares to enter a new era of greatness, but she isn't the only one making significant strides. Other WNBA players are beginning to pursue better possibilities by going down the same route. Abroad, for instance, it has been claimed that Caitlin is going to Europe, while Kelsey Mitchell and Alyssa Smith have chosen to play in China during their off-season. WNBA players are gradually adopting this trend as they come to understand that playing abroad not only offers much more compensation but also better treatment in general. In terms of compensation and experience quality, the WNBA's pay scale just cannot match what other international leagues are providing.
All of this comes together and you need a star. And she is the
Players like Caitlin, Kelsey and Alyssa are seeing the advantages of fewer games, more rest and higher earnings, making the decision to play internationally almost a no-brainer when you compare the schedule's compensation and player care offered overseas. It's easy to understand why more athletes are choosing this path. Whilst all this is going out, Jason Whitlock believes Caitlin should star in unrivaled league, a league where the best of the best compete against each other in the off-break of the WNBA. This would lead to players like Kelsey Mitchell and Alyssa Smith not needing to travel abroad to earn their wage. Instead, they can make their money in America with an unrivaled league full of talent. This will give players better opportunity, and they will be able to make something out of this rise of talent in the women's game. We have some incredible prospects coming through, yet they aren't going to receive the pay they deserve. Instead, they will have to generate their income through sponsorships. But this unrivaled league idea adds a whole different spectrum to the table. Back to Caitlin Clark and the WNBA. This shift should serve as a massive wake-up call for the women's basketball. The league is at serious risk of losing not just Caitlin Clark, but other top players as well. If the WNBA doesn't step up and reevaluate how they compensate and treat their athletes, they could face a mass exodus of talent. The reality is clear: players no longer have to settle for less when international leagues are willing to offer them so much more. If the WNBA wants to avoid an even larger talent drain in the future, they need to rethink their priorities and fast.
Molly, I said...
Really, Molly? Wow.
Really?
Perhaps the most shocking aspect of this whole situation is that the WNBA didn't seem to try very hard to retain Caitlin Clark. There was no grand gesture, no big offer, nothing to show how valuable she was to the league. Instead, they essentially let her leave without a fight, which is a perplexing decision. The WNBA allowed Clark to slip through their fingers despite the fact that she had the potential to be the biggest star in American sports and a once-in-a-generation talent. This is a monumental mistake for a league that has been working hard to increase its fan base and compete on a bigger stage.
Clark, it seems like this entire season, she was the solution for so many things, but so many players, coaches, media people, so many people were also painting her out to be the problem. She could never do enough. She could never speak out enough. Her fans were the issue. Fever fans were the issue.
The WNBA will surely regret this choice, and it will negatively impact their financial results. The Caitlin Clark effect was genuine. Unlike any other player in recent memory, she was raising the league's profile on her own, drawing in new supporters and creating enthusiasm. With her exit, the WNBA must face the painful fact that they are no longer the top destination for the greatest players in the world. Clark was becoming well known and bringing an unmatched level of attention and enthusiasm that the league hadn't seen in years. Better contracts are being offered by other leagues. The WNBA's argument that the Premier League in women's basketball is now on shaky ground due to Caitlin Clark's departure makes them a more appealing choice because they receive better treatment and play fewer games. They will need to put in a lot of effort to bounce back from this defeat.
Basketball has really consumed my life for a year, so I feel like it'll be good for me to kind of reflect back on everything that's happened. Like, I feel like I didn't even have time to really reflect on my college career because it ended so fast.
The entire basketball landscape is about to change for Caitlin Clark as a result of her move to Europe. This is an amazing chance for Caitlin to continue her career in a place where her talent will be fully recognized and compensated, and she will be treated like the superstar she is on and off the court. Her game will continue to develop on an even larger stage for the WNBA, but this is a complete disaster. The league will see a sharp decline in viewership revenue and overall fan engagement as a result of losing one of their best players, and now they will have to deal with the fallout.
What do you guys think people would prefer to watch? Caitlin Clark shooting three-pointers from the logo and sinking them, or Angel Reese doing two-footed layups? Like, y'all are so desperate to make her so relevant. She's just lucky she's in the same draft class as Caitlin Clark.
The question now is whether the WNBA can bounce back from this huge loss, or if this marks the start of a much bigger crisis for the league. Caitlin's departure is more than just one player leaving. It represents the league's struggles to keep top-down talent in the face of better offers and treatment overseas. Additionally, subscribe to see more videos today.